Hi there, here's a video that I'm making for some people. I've gotten a couple requests for this. People wanted to see the Donkey Kong arcade cabinet that I've been working on for the past 5 or 6 weeks here. So this is the second video I've done. Turns out the first video, I actually just took a still picture and talked for 15 minutes to nothing. So I'm going to try it again, but I won't be as excited this time. So what we have here is a Donkey Kong arcade cabinet. And I apologize for the video. I can't find my regular video camera, so this is just on my iPod. This was originally a Popeye, Nintendo Popeye arcade cabinet. It was light blue, and it wasn't working. I found it on Craigslist and went and picked it up with a friend of mine. Brought it back home, gutted it, and ended up selling off the control panel, the bezel, and the marquee to another collector. And used some of that to fund the rest of the project, which was a lot of sanding and patching and painting. Now, the Donkey Kong original dedicated cabinet was light blue, like the Popeye, but I wanted to do something kind of fun and paint the thing red. So what I've gone for here is sort of mimicking what happened with Nintendo's Radar Scope game. Now, Nintendo had this game, it was shaped exactly like this, that came out before Donkey Kong, called Radar Scope. And then Donkey Kong came out. And Donkey Kong was much more popular than Radar Scope. So Nintendo had a warehouse full of these red cabinets and said, hey, let's put some Donkey Kong stickers on there and send them out the door. So you will see it's somewhat rare, but you will see from time to time a red Donkey Kong cabinet. So that's what I've done here. I think the red looks so much better than the light blue. And this is, I think I got there's the paint can right there. This is a Valspar Radiant Red is the color. And let's see, there was a lot of patching that had to be done. There was a lot of nicked corners, and a lot of Bondo was used during all this. And if you look really close, you can see where I've patched in some of the edges and things like that. Now, Popeye had a horizontally oriented monitor in here, but since this was going to become a Donkey Kong machine, I pulled out the monitor. I'm still using the original Sanyo 20 Easy, or Easy 20. Pulled out the monitor, installed a cap kit because there were some problems with the screen after 30 years of being on. Then put it back in here, and to do that I had to get a separate vertical monitor mounting kit in here. And kind of bringing this up while I was talking about painting and sanding and things like that, there were 3 holes that went here with the carriage bolts that held in the horizontal monitor mount. So those weren't needed anymore, so I patched it and sanded it, and we're only using now the 2 carriage bolts for the vertical monitor mount. So this is all new reproduction side art here, reproduction marquee. And a previous owner, once upon a time, had pulled out the sort of weird Japanese fluorescent fixture that is prevalent in these old Nintendo cabs. There's another one in Mario Brothers as well, I happen to know. Maybe they're in other things. I haven't opened them all up and looked yet. But anyways, they had pulled that out and put in a small incandescent bulb in there, and so I pulled that out, put in a regular fluorescent fixture, and ended up lining the inside with reflective tape, like that right there. And it really gives a nice, even, bright light coming through there. Looks a little silly on this video just because it's not able to deal with the light in any way, but seeing it in person, you know, you're not being blinded. It actually looks pretty good. Also, reproduction bezel here. It's really nice to see, to be looking at this game without not through a scratch piece of plexiglass or whatever. Also, reproduction control panel here. Went ahead, of course, I got new buttons. And got a new joystick too. The other one was shot. I thought I could repair it piece by piece at the time, but eventually I was like, I'm going to stop replacing pieces and just get a new joystick in here, because the other one sucked. This is the original coin door from Popeye, just cleaned up and shiny. And I think as far as the outside, that's about all I have to talk about. I have a list here so I don't forget to mention anything. So, yeah. So, here we go. Donkey Kong, we all know it and love it. So you turn on the machine, you're here in Donkey Kong, and you can of course put in quarters. Maybe I got one hidden up here. Pop it in and play the game. Hopefully no one saw any of my high scores that aren't that great in here. And it plays just like a regular Donkey Kong machine. Now the special thing about this is that when you get tired of playing Donkey Kong, what you can do is hit the player 1 and player 2 start buttons at the same time. And when you do that, you exit out of Donkey Kong, and you are then in the menu for the front end for MAME Hyperspin. So this is a MAME machine. I've got a PC inside here. And I'm using an arcade VGA card inside here to send the signal to the monitor, which was tricky. So what we're seeing here is my custom-made vertical Hyperspin Donkey Kong theme here. We have the game title that appears up at the top in the banner, and then a video of the game that plays sort of within this sort of faux bezel art that we have inside here. So to go from game to game, I'm just hitting you know, left and right on the controller, and that's scrolling me through my games here, which are in alphabetical order. So you stop on a game you want to play, and you hit the jump button, and then we launch right into that game. And again, you can put a quarter in, player 1 start, and then you're off. Huh. Alright, so again, player 1 and player 2 at the same time, you're back at the menu, and there you are. I have about 170 vertical games that I've hand selected on here, and they're all, because of the arcade VGA card, they're all running in their native resolution. So when you start a game and you're looking at it, it looks really authentic. It looks like the real deal, and it's also fun. In addition to having like the old school games like Donkey Kong and Frogger, having some of the newer vertical shooters and things like that on here. And the interesting thing about some of those games is that, you know, you have one button here for Donkey Kong. All you needed to do was jump and move left and right and up and down. So what I've done is gone through here in some of these games and mapped other buttons. For example, in this game, when you want to drop a bomb, you can hit the player 2 start button. I also have a secret on here. Is that under the control panel, if you duck down here and look, I don't know if that'll show or not, but I have a couple extra secret buttons that I've put under the control panel, and that yellow one that you saw is a coin button. So if I'm out of quarters, I can just sit here and tap this button and put coins in and start the game. So let's take a peek at the inside here, I guess, from the front. If I unlocked it. Yeah, that's too dark. That glow right there is the volume knob for the speaker amp that's in here. We'll just shut that off. And if you bear with me 1 second, I'll pop the back off this thing and we'll take a look at the inside. Okay, So here's the inside. Oops, I left my keyboard in there. That'll look good in the video. So here's the monitor. This is the Sanyo 20EZ monitor. And there we are. This is what a video game sees when it's looking out at you. Like I said, put a cap kit on here. I won't talk about that. I'm having to invert the video from the computer. And that ended up being interesting. So we just have a regular PC in here. It's a dual-core processor. Here's the arcade VGA card. Nothing else special. There we see this is the sound, the speaker amp. And so if it's too loud or something, I can just pop open the coin door and make a quick adjustment to that giant blue glowing volume control. Right here is the smart strip that's installed, and what this does, if you're not familiar, is this blue outlet here at the bottom is the master outlet. The green outlets are these sort of slave outlets, and what this power strip does is when the master component is turned on, it will then turn on all the other things that are plugged into it, which in this case is the light for the marquee, the speaker amp, and oh yeah, I forgot about that, the converter for the monitor. This is a 100. This monitor runs off of 100 volts. So if you plugged it into a regular American outlet, it would explode or something. It would certainly break the monitor. So what I have to do is actually convert the 120 to 100 and power the monitor with that. Now this was all happening with some other equipment inside the Popeye cabinet, but it was covered with cigarette tar and in various states of disrepair when I got it. So I ended up getting this machine at off of Amazon. Just looked around for something. Thought surely there would be some devices out there for people, you know, who were in Iraq or something like that and want to play their Xboxes. So I found it and popped it in there, and luckily it worked like I thought it would. I think that's about it. Let me just check my list. It's Windows XP 64-bit on here with a custom build of MAME that's removing all the nag screens and info screens at the beginning. I think that's it, really. The iPack that's controlling the buttons and letting me map everything is inside here. That's pretty boring. I don't think I'll show that. You could just imagine. I think that's it, really. So it's fun to have a working coin door on here to play these games, and then have this secret hidden coin button for myself. These other buttons, I haven't quite figured out what I'm going to do with them yet. On a few games, I've turned them into the second and third regular buttons. But on most of the games, I haven't done anything. The only thing I have left to do, I think, is, oh god, let me just start one of these so it stops making noise, is I want to be able to power on the PC. Right now, to power on the PC, I open the coin door and I reach my hand in here and I find the button and turn it on. But on the coin door, there is a service switch right here, which was used to go into the sort of admin menu of the Popeye game. But that's a momentary contact switch, and the idea is to wire that up to the PC and use that for the power button. And then I think once I've done that, it's really about all there is to do. Now, unfortunately, I don't have any room in my apartment for this thing. So I was just going to sit down here in the basement of my apartment building until I can move or figure out something else to do with it. Anyways, that's it. Thanks for watching.